the most important consideration in terms of a digital transformational outcome is how can you continually improve that engagement with customers. That's something that I hear all the time. Now, I think that we can do something pretty dramatic and different when it comes to customer engagement. And to help me talk about this, I wanted to introduce two of my friends, the CEO of SAP, Bill McDermott, and CEO of Adobe, Shantanu Narayan, up on stage. Hi, Shantanu. Thanks, Bill. Thank you so much, Bill and Shantanu, for being here. In fact, I think it was 3 years ago, right here in Orlando, that I joined you at a Sapphire conference, and I think you were here in Atlanta, really, at our Ignite conference 2 years ago. And quite frankly, we have done so much together.
Yes.
Even in the last, although we've been working for decades, but in the last multiple years, I think we collectively have worked with so many of the customers represented here on their digital transformation journeys. And we've learned so much in terms of how they think about what are the opportunities around customer engagement and what's really even in some sense needed in order for them to keep pushing. When you think about the customers at the center, the thing that perhaps more than anything else that we've learned is the data that is available in every company around the customer is super rich, right? You have all this behavioral data that comes from web and mobile. There is IoT data. Many of them are building products that are collecting data, the services that are collecting data. There is also, obviously, all the transactional information in ERP and CRM systems. So clearly, there's a big data opportunity, except there is this, what I describe as a small data challenge. That is, all of this data is now trapped in silos, many of them internal, also external silos, because you have these advertising, social, and other marketplaces where that data is opaque. So the real challenge is to be able to bring all this data together so the companies are in control. And so what we are excited today is to announce a new initiative. So Adobe, Microsoft, and SAP are coming together to really unleash a new era of the open data. And so the Open Data Initiative is something that we are very, very excited about, what it could do to unlock the true potential of all customer data for every brand out there. And when this all came about, Bill, in fact, I think when you picked up the phone and called both Shantanu and me and said, hey, there's a real opportunity I see for us. And maybe you can share a little bit about what was that motivation behind all of this.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Satya, thank you for having me today. And making a phone call to two great friends is a pretty easy thing to do. That's the most important thing, friendship and trust. It creates a lot of opportunity. When you think about the marketplace out there, we're in the midst, as you rightfully pointed out in your keynote, of a customer-driven growth revolution. Every single company is going through a digital transformation, or should be, because their consumer is mobile, they're social, they're operating in all channels, and they're on the fly. So you have to be geospatially in tune with them. And no longer will they tolerate companies that don't get it. And getting it means the data can't be trapped in a silo, because we now have to connect the end-to-end consumer experience, from the demand chain all the way through to the supply chain in real time. So CEOs in boardrooms around the world are saying, give me a single view of my consumer. Without which you're unlikely to win in this new economy. So you have to have the data, and it has to be open. So I thought when we talked on the phone, it would be really great to take the market-leading companies, Microsoft, Adobe, and SAP, and open the conversation up. So today, I really believe this is a seminal moment in the information technology industry, because now we say to our customers, all of you out there, The data is yours. When you're open, you're prosperous. We want to actually lower the cost of your data. As this data continues to explode, you have every right to want it to be a lower cost operation. And finally, when you think about this open world that we're talking about, we have to be extensible with each other, for and with each other. So these platforms have to work together. And that breaks down the silos. So I think we have started something that's a movement, and I just can tell you all, you can never underestimate the importance of trust and collaboration, because that's where it all started.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, thank you so much for describing what I think are the 3 core principles around this open data initiative that I think are foundational in putting the customer back in control of their own customer data. Absolutely. And that, I think, is perhaps one of the most important agendas for the industry going forward.
And Satya, as you know, we have to get the inside of these companies.
Yep.
And everyone that works inside these companies to think about what's going on outside these companies in service to that consumer. So we're moving from old school CRM to a true customer experience. And that's a big shift.
And talking about that, and I know, Shantanu, you have been a proponent, in fact, for many years now, talking about this emergence of a new category around customer experience. And in fact, many of the customers that we pre-briefed even on what we were doing came about because of the work Adobe has done and SAP has done. So why don't you talk a little bit about how you see the emergence of this new category?
I'm happy to, Satya, and again, thank you for having Bill and me at your conference. It's amazing to be in front of so many great customers. And you're right, 2 years ago, we were both on stage and we talked about how we were going to be standardizing all our cloud platforms on Azure. Yeah. And the fact that we've had now hundreds of customers adopt what Bill provides with HANA and what you're doing with Azure and what we're doing with the Experience Cloud, I think is just validation of the need for all of these customers to completely reimagine the customer experience. You know, our belief is that every single enterprise has to meet the mandates of their consumers, which require all interactions to be digital. They require them to be personalized. They require them to be relevant.
Right.
And this is where I think the 3 of us can do some magic with respect to unlocking all of the data that was previously in silos. And so, you know, we think that the time is right because all consumers are buying products, they're not buying experiences. And if we can deliver a new category, which we are calling the customer experience management category, and bring together the ability for people to take all this data, take all of this content, take the AI that you alluded to,
right,
and deliver that compelling, personalized, relevant experience across all channels, then they're meeting the needs of the customers. And I think to your point, whether it's Unilever when we briefed them and they said they have billions of consumers using their products every day and they still don't, you know, have that relevant experience with them, or whether it's Walmart and what Walmart is doing with the future of retail, and Coca-Cola, who's trying to completely revolutionize the beverage industry. I think it's when we hear from customers jointly,
that's right,
and we bring together our technology, we can architect this. So I'm really thrilled to be here. I think, you know, the Open Data Initiative really puts the power of your data in your hands, and I think we can together reimagine the customer experience management category.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. And it's such an exciting opportunity, and we can get started today. I mean, that's the reality of it. If you think about it, the architecture here is actually pretty straightforward, which is you have these very sophisticated, rich application suites from SAP, from Adobe, from Microsoft. And the commitment you're hearing from the 3 of us is that we are going to unlock the data across all of these suites, so that they can be enriched using this very rich cloud data and AI layer in Azure, so that you can, in fact, take data that is there today in any application and think of it as a renewable resource. Right, so to me, that's the breakthrough of what we are sort of announcing here, which is there is no data silos. Think of all data as a continuous renewable resource. And by the way, this is not just about us. We want this to be an open framework. We want to invite anyone and customers and others in the tech industry to join the Open Data Initiative so that we can deliver the benefits of this to our customers, so that they're in control of their customer data and can really drive that next generation of the customer experience economy. Thank you so very much, Bill and Shantanu, for being here. It's
Thanks,
a really
everybody.
exciting. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The very best.